beautiful souls. Welcome back to week 3 of our winter healing circle. So happy to be with you again. And today, this week, into the second, third week of January, we are experiencing the full moon, the first full moon of the year. And as always, with the full moon, it's a wonderful time to do a cleansing, a detox, a letting go of what no longer serves you. So using this energy of the first full moon, we are focusing this session today to talk about shedding the old patterns and old energies that we might be carrying with us years after years. And so as we are starting the new year, this is a great time to just pay attention and just reflect back of where you are now, and if there are energies that you've been carrying with you, patterns, ways of thinking, some old energies that's just been weighing you down. So we use this energy of the full moon, these intentions that we are setting, that from this full moon onwards, we let it go, we surrender it, we release it. A wonderful exercise that I like to propose to you at this time is actually just reflecting back on the last 12 months and see if there were times that you feel like your light's been dimmed, like if there were times when you feel like that was hard, that was difficult, was challenging, and you feel like like just low energy, low vibration. And I invite you to do that on a journal. Just write things down. And you can start either way. You can start with your wins and ups and happy, beautiful moments that lift you up and you feel like you're expansive, you're bigger and brighter. It gives you joy. What are your wins and successes? You write all that down as well. And in doing so, we look at them and then we say, what are the lessons that I'm learning from these reflections? What brings me joy? What are the reasons behind me coming to these moments of celebration, of appreciation, of feeling freedom and feeling, uplifted, versus what brought me the failures, mistakes, and downtime and moments I feel defeated? What causes them? And from my own experience in doing this exercise, I feel that perhaps you would find the same as well, that there's some common threads between, what brought you the downs and what brought you the ups. And if you look at them, they might actually be kind of an extremes of a spectrum of the same thing. For me personally, what brought me the downs were when I overthinking, when I just spent too much time in my head, worrying, analyzing, and spending too much time in that mental space. Whereas my ups were when I just listened to my heart and I just action through. And when I do that, it's so much ease and flow that there were not even times when I could doubt that it couldn't happen. It's like it was just the logical next step that the success and the wins would come, because I'm just not ever doubting. I'm just not really even consciously believing, but I just never had the time to doubt, to worry, and I just marched through knowing that that's the next step, that's my clear direction. And when I look at the downs, it's like, well, actually, there were times when those hints were there of where I need to go. It's just that in my head, I go back and forth, and then I just get confused, or I didn't listen to my heart, and and so the outcomes were not clear. The outcomes were making me feel like my light didn't shine, because perhaps there were other ways to do it. Perhaps I just get stuck in my head and saying I need to do it a certain way. So I hope that you go through this exercise as well, and just reflect back if there are some lessons that you can learn from the past, so that with the energies of this full moon, you can say, well, it's like a notebook. You have fully utilized it. Now you look back and say, there were things that I've learned. Those knowledge become mine. And now I don't need to keep that notebook anymore. You know, once you've learned something, it's yours, and you don't need to carry the feeling of defeat anymore, because you said, I have picked that wisdom from that lesson already, and I don't need to keep having that emotions of, oh, I didn't do it, I was a failure, da, 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 da. All of that is not useful anymore, and so they're not serving you for your higher purpose. So that's the intention for today's session, is really to let go of things that's already past, you know, whether it's from the last month or years and years before. You know, when we do these reflections, we get to learn from past events, and we realize that, well, maybe actually that's a pattern that keeps happening years after years, you know, different faces, different places, but it's the same thing that keeps happening. And we need to turn our crystal clear vision on and see through the patterns that brought us down and dim our light, and that today you make a decision that you are no longer going to repeat all of that. And so today's exercise is going to focus as well in this part where we call it forgiveness. And actually, this letting go and releasing all energies is exactly this purpose of forgiving. Forgiving is not about condoning what happened, whether it's done by you or another person, to be right. The intention for forgiveness is actually a decision that you're doing for you, to call all your energies present to this moment, and deciding that you are not allowing yourself to keep getting your energies drained to past emotions and happenings and thinkings that are tied to past events. And like we say, you learned from it, you've grown from it, and now you need to let that go. And so calling your energies present, so that we make space for the new beginnings and new intentions that we are inviting in, being conscious about what we call in for this new year. Let's dive into